Hello, I'm Tom O'Connor. Last week on West Virginia Journal, we examined the causes of unemployment. Tonight, in our first report, we'll look at the effects of unemployment on people. There are over 100,000 unemployed people in West Virginia, and nearly half of these, some 48,000 men and women, have exhausted their unemployment benefits. Because so many of the unemployed here in southern West Virginia are coal miners, I focused my report especially on them. But what they experience is not unique. Almost any unemployed person can identify with the feelings and frustrations they voice. But I'll let them tell their own story.
I hate unemployment and I tell you why. I want to keep working till the day I die. I like to work, I do it well, and when I can't feed my family, Lord, I feel like hell. Lord, give me a job of work to do. Lord, give me a job of work to do. That's all I want, that's all I ask of you.
You can't buy the things you used to buy because you can't go out, you haven't got the money to buy it with.
If you're a coal miner, they treat you like you're just plumb ignorant. That's about as close as you can say it.
I haven't had no hospitalization for 3 years.
What can the state government do for you?
I'd like to see the state government set up some trade schools for our unemployed.
The state could help by getting these people that are from out of state, these big landholders and big conglomerates, to pay their fair share of taxes, and I'll guarantee you that we would be 100% better off, because they're all based in New York or somewhere else. They're not here. They don't even have a telephone booth here. I've known a lot of fly-by-night outfits that even had a telephone booth set up in the state. They don't even have that.
Right now, most of them's got a little unemployment coming, about 85%. But when that 85% runs out around December, you're going to see trouble.
And there's no question that this crisis is not just in the U.S. or in Turin, but is worldwide.
U.S. industry at large is represented as going to spend of the order of $80 billion in the resizing program, with General Motors spending $40 billion.
You ain't got no money and you got some kids. Now you're talking serious stuff there, you know what I mean?
The people want the truth of what is going down.
It's not a question of callous managers sitting on the 14th floor of the General Motors building. It's really a question of changing the rules of the game.
Who decides? Who decides? Who pays?
Hello, I'm Studs Terkel. This is a program about the auto industry and the crisis it faces.
Soldiers and sailors of the revolution, all that is left of the king's garrison has either surrendered or been killed.
Assassination and revolution, companions of change. Braganza noblemen have ruled Portugal for centuries. Now, with King Carlos dead, a republic replaced the monarchy. But more than the government had changed. Portugal, one of the most Catholic countries in the world, was subjected to religious persecution. These victorious revolutionaries saw the church as the enemy. It had supported the state and must pay a price. One action among many was to exile the church's highest authority, the Cardinal Patriarch. They sought social change, political objectives, but there was much more at stake. What they could not see was their role in an emerging grand design, a mosaic that reveals itself only when we look at a series of seemingly unrelated events. Events that many believe hold profound significance for the world today. Pieces of the puzzle include a world at war, Rasputin, his unnatural power, his violent death, execution of Nicholas II, Tsar of Russia, the slaying of the Empress and their children, the Bolshevik Revolution, Lenin's rise to power, and the strange and beautiful experience of 3 children. Young shepherds tending their flock amid these Serra da Aire mountains of Portugal in the year 1917. More than 70,000 experienced the climax to the children's story. Among this crowd are 5 people who will tell us what they saw. 5 witnesses to the miracle of the sun. What really happened at the Cova da Iria in 1917? We'll examine the events and their implications for us, for our time. Is there a thread that can be followed that ties past to present and present to our future? That explains why millions throughout the world remember 3 shepherd children. Why millions are committed to act, to respond to the message of Fatima.
It's 90 minutes from Miami. It was shocking to see the suffering of such magnitude so close to America.
As a nurse, I worked in nursing homes for about 20 years, and I was certainly used to smells of human excrement and necrotic tissue, things like that. But when I saw all the refuse in the streets mixed with water and people walking through it, I couldn't believe that people would be living like that. Like, I was afraid to walk in it. I didn't want it to get into my, shoes. I was afraid of any disease that was there, and I thought people are living in this, washing in it.
There's no plumbing in there. There's no cabinets for, your utensils. Most of the houses we saw didn't even have a table and chair. They might have a mattress on the floor.
When I walked through the slums and saw literally hundreds of children malnourished and sick, without enough food or water, it broke my heart. When I imagine how a Haitian father must feel when he sees his children sick, dying, starving in the dirt in the slums of Haiti, and he has nothing to give them.
So this was almost being in a surreal type situation, or almost a dream that was an unpleasant dream. And you had to wake up from that dream and pinch yourself and say, this isn't happening. But the truth is that it is happening.
For the times they are a-changin'.
I think that the great disillusion that hit at the end of the 60s, brought about by the whether you agree they were brought about by the assassinations or not, caused a lot of people to say, hey, this isn't working, this dream that we had, this hope that we had for love, big L love, taking over the world, this vision of all you need is love, is diffracted, and everybody went their own way. There was a disparity between that which we had hoped for and that which we really were living out.
Mankind has always been intrigued by the moon, Earth's only natural satellite. It's inspired endless songs, poetry, and art, loomed large in science, religion, romance, and superstition. It became a metaphor for the unattainable. You might as well ask for the moon, they said. Now we were going there, hoping to be enlightened by the universe. They called it Apollo, after the Greek god of light, philosophy, and the arts.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Technical triumph for this country.
Mankind sees in the exploration of space is his first chance at immortality.
A beginning of a new age.
Man has learned that space is his to explore.
The spirit of Apollo transcends geographical barriers and political differences.
As we move through time, there's going to be more and more fascination with exactly why did we do it, how did we do it, what did it all mean.
A new age was born when man set foot on the moon. In the past, he looked up from the Earth and beheld the moon. For the first time, he looked up from the moon and beheld the Earth. But it wouldn't be the last time. Over the next 3 years, NASA would launch 5 other manned lunar landings. Shakespeare wrote, "For 'tis the sport to have the engineer hoist with his own petard, and it shall go hard, but I will delve 1 yard below their minds and blow them at the moon." That quote from Hamlet refers to engineers creating explosions that would blow man to the moon. 400 years later, using modules like this one, the Apollo program did just that. Putting a man on the moon has been called the greatest technological achievement in history. And while everyone knows the astronauts who landed on the moon, few know about the engineers and scientists who made it possible. Those unsung heroes working quietly behind the scenes with ideas that have changed the world.
The fear in his mind told him that paths were dangerous. He whispered it aloud to himself, dangerous. And then he scrambled, panic-stricken, through the hedge. Small thorns dug into his clothes as though they were the fingers of a harlot in a crowded bar. The fingers grew angry, slashed at his face with sharp, pointed nails. Who are you, anyhow?